You're listening to Marcher Monthly. This episode is sponsored by Extra Crispy and Bully Audio. The music used in this episode is by Justin Collins. Dialogue mixing is by John Savard. Thank you to all of you. You can find links to the sponsors and artists in the show notes, as well as at our website, Anakainosis.com. This episode is the second March. You can't fix him. Before that, there was the sun and the moon. And that is the creation story or whatever in Anakainosis.
Okay.
And so what I have written here for that is, let me see. It's actually not complete just because this was something that I was like, oh yeah, that totally makes sense. And genuinely, this is the point where I very much like talking to people about this, right? And I've established Moose Blard did not exist in the way it does until your backstory. Honestly, the Church of Light did not exist until you have introduced your backstory. It didn't exist in the way it does simply because the guy who is running the Church of Light, he didn't come up with your character's backstory.
Right.
So I had to explain to him that this is a problem for him, that your character exists.
I'm so sorry.
Don't be.
I've been a problem since day one.
Making waves.
OG problems. Whatever. So my questions to you, and really it's Jay, you and I probably, I'm happy that I'm talking to you about this because this is the creation myth. And so that it's directly related to Aurelian. And what you and I have talked about is what is Aurelian's path? What does that look at? Or look like? So creation, it all has to do with souls. So how does how our souls are created? A vat of pure light operated by mechanical constructs. The light itself rises upon, this is literally just spark notes that I have in a big fucking note thing. So a vat of pure light operated by mechanical constructs creates souls. And then the light itself rises upon the world to spread souls to new life and to provide sustenance to souls dispersed. And then it returns to gain more power from the vat at the end of each day. So it's
literally God from the machine.
Yeah.
Wild.
Oh my God.
Wild light. Read that first part again.
Okay. A vat of pure light operated by mechanical constructs. Out of space and time.
That's crazy imagery.
Wild.
That's crazy.
I love it.
Okay. So it's again, out of space and time is this vat. And then the light itself rises upon the world to spread souls to new life and to provide sustenance to souls dispersed.
Pollinating.
And then you said it returns.
And then it goes back.
And then it returns to gain more power from the vat at the end of each day. And then it just comes back up and then it disperses it all and then it comes back in.
It's like Studio Ghibli and Ghost in the Shell put together kind of.
Yeah. So anyways, that's what that is. And then upon death, Shamaher Galak, which is Grandmother Moon.
God bless you.
Butchered that. I'm pretty sure it's Shamaher. Well, no, it's Shamawer or something.
Just
I love
try
when you pronounce
every
it
vowel.
correctly.
Just try every consonant. We'll get there.
It's Gaelic. It's full on Gaelic. It means grandmother moon. So grandmother moon ferried the souls to other planets for their eternal purpose. Which dead ass. I was sitting. Okay, so I'm sitting here 6 months ago, and 6 months ago, the main stage production is. Oh my God, I'm blanking on the name of the main stage production. It's, I don't know.
Describe the plot.
A girl in New York has to travel from the Bronx downtown to, I don't know, like save the angels because the angels are falling from heaven.
The Warriors.
It's not the one. Well, I'm gonna look this up. Play about girl in New York who deals with falling angels.
Pretty sure it's the Warriors.
Might be that new Doctor Who episode, actually.
Ooh.
It is so bizarre. It's like Marisol.
Oh, Marisol.
Oh, okay.
Marisol.
Oh, okay.
So Marisol starts with a poem that is like the moon takes the souls and brings them to heaven. And I'm literally sitting there going like, fuck, well, there it is. Because I'm sitting there, I'm like, I knew that the giants, like the Titans, defeated the sun and the moon. I knew that. I also knew that the old gods fought with or against the sun and the moon. Like I knew that in the battle, like where did the sun and the moon go? Right? Like that's the whole thing. And I constantly have said since day one, this world does not have a sun. It does not have a moon.
Uh-huh. It's all...
And I
said since day one.
Uh-huh.
No, I'm just thinking about the moon shit that Val went through.
Talk about that.
About what
Talk about it.
was.
Yeah, we haven't talked about it on the show yet. Let's talk about it.
They were at the games, the May Queen, whatever
the May
they're
Queen's
called,
games.
the May Queen's games, and Val won.
Yeah.
And for her one wish, she said that her intention was to wish Redruth back, and she said, I wish to bring back Redruth, but what came out of her mouth was, I wish to bring back the moon.
Yeah.
And then the May Queen got real mad and was like, why the fuck would you say that?
Yeah.
Oh.
But I think there's a little bit more that is unfolded, right? There was a modify memory placed on Val,
Yes,
right?
Right. So Val straight up said in the moment, she did say like, I want to bring Redruth back. And the wish was granted. The wish was granted, but it was like he was brought back, but he was brought because previously we had done a cutscene to show that he was like held captive by one of these pirate lords. And that has been introduced as like, he is now the Depositus. He is the Recreant Pirate Depositus. He used to be, I think that's his name, or he was the Recreant. Oh man, it's all one big note on my phone. So let me see if I can find it. Here we go. Yeah, now known as the Recreant Pirate Depositus. And he was being held captive by one of the pirates. And yeah, because he used to have another name, and it was interesting because it's the Impetus Pirate. So the Impetus Pirate is on what I think is the coolest one, which is the Sea of Fear. And this is all like, again, I'm like, how much do we want to spoil / how much do we want to introduce in game? But I think it's like, I think this is a conversation or a video. What was it? Have you guys ever heard of the machete order?
No.
So there are different ways to watch Lord of the Rings, or not Lord of the Rings, sorry, Star Wars. There's different ways to watch Star Wars.
Okay.
Okay.
So Star Wars, there's chronological order, which is like release order, right? So 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9. Then there's, at that point when I started watching it, it was before 7, 8, 9 existed. So it was just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which is episode order or release order. And then somebody introduced flashback order. And flashback order is you start with 4, you go to 5, then you go back to 1, 2, 3, and then you finish with 6. And machete order was you just chop off episode 1 because it doesn't like you don't need a lot of what's in 1 if like you're trying to take out 2 hours, like you're trying to make it in a day. And a lot of people at that point didn't like episode 1, but now, like literally in 2024, it has now come back to being like, no, episode 1 wasn't that bad. It was a product of its time, but there was a lot of good things in it, and it was like nostalgic to go back and watch it. And Battle of the Fates is one of the most epic, blah 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 blah. So like people have brought it back. But at that point, when I was reading about how to watch Star Wars, like machete order was getting a lot of traction because people did not like episode 1. Now, the reason why machete and flashback order work is because they said, what do you gain? You gain all of the big twists that occur in 4 and 5, or you get the epic of 4, you get the twists of 5. No, I am your father. But what you lose is the twist in 6 because you are not introduced to there is another. Leia is your sister. That happens in 6. Sure. You get that spoiled at the end of 3, but the way it's spoiled at 3 creates a new revelation so that when you watch it in 6, now you have dramatic irony where you as the audience member know what's going to happen, but you get to watch Luke discover. And when he discovers it too, he literally says the line, he's like, I always knew. And you're like, when you were like trying to make out with her?
Yeah.
Like Hoth
When you
tells
were
us a different
actively
story.
flirting with her?
Yeah.
Explain that kink.
Yeah. Right?
Listen, I know you had a rough childhood, but
Damn.
that's a lot to unpack.
And I will say,
Find his search history right now.
go Birds. So like, but flashback order also does a really good thing where it gives you 3 movies between Hoth and that line of I've always known. So it's like a time to reflect, It is one of those things that where so the reason I bring that up is because it doesn't matter how the twist is introduced. It still has narrative impact, but it also gives you dramatic irony. And so you are getting dramatic irony now.
I love dramatic irony.
Well, I also think this game is interesting to play that sometimes it's fun for the player to have a revelatory moment. And I've now, as a player, put it together. But I do think there's also something fun about playing against, like, my character doesn't know what this is going to be. But I, as the player, have connected the dots, right? So I get to be audience and star, so to speak, at the same time, which I think is hard. And I think a lot of people fall into this sort of like metagaming, like, you bastard, you know what's going to happen, you're playing into it. But trying to resist that and trying to really be certain with your character in order to play the story in the most dramatic way. I think that's really where D&D gets good.
100%.
Right? Because you know what to play against and what you can ignore.
Yeah. And there's also like, and this is things that I have done previously, basically a number of times where I've told one player something so that like we have dramatic irony, but it's also like, it's one of those things that like I haven't played. I've only ran games for, a couple of years, but it's like, I wish I had the opportunity to do this because I want to say that if I'm in the position where I'm given this opportunity, I would pull that trigger where it's like, you know what's coming, so you know what's going to tell a better version of that story. Instead, when you don't know what it is, you might be more hesitant to yes and. And so like the hag is a great example, right? Like no one knew that my plan for that hag was to make her like another potion seller.
Yeah.
And we were like, no,
we're just
fuck
like,
hags.
she's evil.
No.
Yeah, I'm literally sitting there going like in character. She's like, well, I'll do anything for you people. And you're like, you die now.
Right. Well, and because I took it as we're all theater kids. I was like, Liam, you're trying to get into our head. Oh, she just wants to start a theater troupe. She's going to control them. She's capitalism. Fuck this hag. Like,
I dead ass was like, wouldn't it be fun if like a hag that was into theater was like making potions for you?
In retrospect, super cool.
Yeah.
Well, you killed her dead.
Yeah, she's dead.
You killed her dead. So I'm like, I immediately took that as a lesson where I'm like, you know what? Tell the player.
I do think that brings up something that I don't hear D&D people talk about a lot, is that maybe there is a call sometimes where you can go, okay, let's step back and let's all become director of the scene. Right. And like, let's all pull back and be like, okay, let's discuss what's happening. What's actually the coolest thing that can happen? And then we hope that the dice support that, and we like, let's pause the game. And I don't know if I've ever seen it happen in a game, especially in like a let's play, like all of that conversations takes place like outside of what we see as the audience. Yeah. But I do wonder how that would work out. If we say, like in Fiasco, I don't know if you guys have played Fiasco before. Fiasco is like a 4-player purely narrative game where you sort of set up relationships and locations and needs and objects. And then you just sort of improvise out each character gets 4 scenes. You say, okay, this is the scene where, very interesting game. I think it's great. But they do say that like, it's okay to like stop a scene and be like, okay, where are we going with this? Like we're improvising the dialogue, but sometimes it's hard to be in the dialogue and trying to like direct it and like create the proper atmosphere of it. So you can like stop and be like, okay, wait, where are we going? What are we, you need to be okay with it now so that you can not be okay with it later, right? So to speak. And I do think that's a really powerful moment to get everyone on the same page. I don't know how to implement that into like D&D, so I'm just sort of like talking theoretically here. Right. But I do feel like that is a very empowering moment. Yeah. Obviously, it shouldn't happen every session, right? But and I don't know if it like is interesting to be like, okay, it's like a luck point that you get like once per campaign, like. But I do wonder if there's like a moment that calls for that on like a heavily narrative thing where you can go, okay, let's take a step back. What's the story we're trying to tell? And like actually like hash it out. I feel like as a player, like it might be like, cause like you do still want to be like assimilated into the story. And I want to be like a part of the narrative that's happening, the theater that's occurring in our minds. But I do want to make sure that we tell the proper story. Right. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't have like a big point to like nail home here, but I do find that very interesting and a great opportunity that I feel like that actually brings, I'm gonna ramble here for a second. That I find it frustrating that Wizards doesn't put storytelling information into the Dungeon Master's Guide. Like not like they put in like items and world building and how to run the game and rules and optional rules, but they're never like, okay, a story needs a beginning, middle, and end. And in the beginning, you need this, this, and this. And in the middle, this is what should happen. And at the end, it all kind of needs to culminate. So we recommend you start here and do this, X, Y, and Z. There's no storytelling mechanic for that. And I find that very strange. And I do think it's sort of like a holdover of this like D&D originated as like a big war game kind of thing. It was a little closer to Warhammer 40K kind of thing. Like, let's just get in there and roll dice and smash each other, which is like cool and fun sometimes. But I feel as though like we as players now in 2024 have evolved past that with Critical Role, with Dimension 20, with NADPOD and any other thing you listen to that like narrative is like the most fun part of it. We want to know the story. It's right. It's modern day soap operas, right? That's what we're into. Yeah. And we love it. And it's great. And I think it's wonderful to embrace that. I used to resist, like I hated it when my mom was like watching General Hospital, but like now I look at it and I go, oh yeah, General Hospital is awesome because it is D&D, right? Just on like a much more mundane level. So I think it would be cool if we find a way as a game to be like, okay, director moment. Yeah. How does this play out?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. It's hard. And I feel like it comes down to every single, it's a personal player preference of how they want to play. Because I know Izzy, hey girl, hey Izzy, I know you're listening. Hey. She likes to know as much as her character and she doesn't want to know everything.
Right.
I want to know everything. Not just because I'm nosy, but also because I have that subconscious thing of like, I'm kind of watching from the outside as well, or I'm just being very aware of the narrative that I am telling. And in a perfect world, full immersion in the game and in the world has the decisions you make in full immersion results in like a really amazing and incredible narrative that might not have happened if you had pre-planned. That's in a perfect world. And it has happened. I've experienced it, but that's not always the case, especially in a world this big and this compelling with so many threads everywhere. And you have to be very specific and intentional with your time. And it can feel really overwhelming. So like when I get caught in like thieves' cants and I'm like, am I doing this correctly? Liam, look at me. Am I okay? That like things like that. That's a very like technical thing, but like things like that can get a little stressful. So I personally like to know as much about, I want to know spoilers because I also know that it's going to take me a minute to actually process what the spoilers mean. Because it's like a lot of different puzzle pieces. And I'm like, they're not fitting together, even though they're all part of the same picture. I've got one corner and a different corner across from each other. So I don't know how they connect yet, but I'm sure they do. So let me just hold on to them for now and see if I can get more information that way. But I think I was rewatching the Calamity Exandria wrap up, like the DM roundtable.
Okay, so we have talked a lot about Red Growth and the Seven Seas. We always record this at the end, so if you heard it, if I'm talking about something that we haven't talked about yet, go fuck yourself. You're in for something really cool later.
Wow.
Go Birds. Hey, here's the thing. I was literally messaging Julio about this today. Today's episode is being sponsored by the Birdhouse.
Hey.
And chirp chirp.
That's right. And there are a number. So the Birdhouse is actually, it's the new hip scene in Eventide where all the cool bands are coming to perform. They're trying to get in there. If you're into music, performance, if you're into acrobatics, if you're into big, festive, explosive performances and acts, you need to check out the Birdhouse. It's in Eventide. Again, this is a place where you can see all sorts of different types of acts. Have any of you been to the Birdhouse?
No, not yet.
Not yet?
I think I was, yeah.
Did you see anybody perform there?
I saw Tevin get shot out of a cannon.
You saw Tevin get shot out of the cannon, which means that you saw Human Force perform.
Did.
You saw her. That was opening weekend.
I worked it.
So there's a number of bands. Sunford and Nuns, of course, also performed there. And we have a couple other bands that are on the docket here. If I'm gonna name some of them, I've got a long list. And I am going to name some of them. I'm excited to hear about your thoughts on whether or not you, let's say thumbs up or what is it? Smash or pass here.
Smash or pass.
Oh, work.
Okay.
Smash or pass. All right. Sumford and Nuns returning.
Smash.
Smash. Amazing. Now Sumford went solo. So are we doing a solo Sunford here?
Pass.
Or
Smash or pass on a Sumford solo.
Or is an option, actually.
It is an or is an option. Okay. How about this? The Nuns.
Oh, smash. Smash.
I'll smash some Nuns.
Smash some Nuns?
Smash some Nuns.
Human Force returning.
Smash.
Yeah, smash.
Smash. All right. A new band that has gotten into a couple shows in Eventide, The U. Are you familiar with these? These are Yuan T throat singers.
Smash.
Is that off the used?
It's off the Hue,
Oh,
which are like they're Mongolian throat singing metal band. They're pretty fucking dope.
oh, okay. Yeah, Smash.
Okay,
Yeah, correct.
But it's snake people doing that.
Yeah.
They're all throat. They're all throat.
I'll throw myself out. I'm sorry.
Very good. All right, here we go. 3 boars down.
3 boars down.
Where boars?
Pass, bro.
I'm going to give that an or.
It's an or for boars.
Yeah.
3 oars down.
Yeah.
All right. Mithril back.
Pass on principle.
Oh, boo. That's a smash on principle in this house. In this house, we smash Mithril back.
Pass on principle.
All right. Blue Knight's Rise, which is a very Anakainosis move here. I will give a hint. Knight's Rise is the name for October in Anakainosis.
Or.
Yeah.
All right, that's fair. Not many.
It's just, only because it just like, or.
Yeah. It works, but it doesn't work that well. Also, Blue October is all right, but like they're very new metal-ish. Arrow for my cherub. Oh man, I don't have metalcore fans here. Obviously not.
I mean, you're going bullet for my
That's
Valentine,
exactly who I'm
right?
going for. I'm going bullet for my Valentine.
I'll smash that.
Smash
I'll
bullet,
smash that.
a little AFMC.
Yeah.
A little AFMC. Okay. A Night to Recall.
I don't know that one.
I don't know.
It's a again another like metalcore. They're actually called easycore now. I hate metalheads because I am one, and we have created a subgenre of a subgenre of a subgenre. It's a day to remember.
I don't think I know that.
Oh, I am going to send so much a day to remember to you.
Okay.
Just make a playlist.
Here we go. We that was literally the like Blue Knight's Rise and A Night to Recall are 2 that like I came up on my own. I was like, these are pretty good. The rest I found. Actually, that's not true. The next one is Wastewood Undead. Oh, you guys are killing me.
I think that one's like just too literal, like too D&D. It's not like split enough for me.
There's a band called Hollywood Undead, and this is Wastewood Undead. It's bad. We're gonna pass. This is a
I
pass.
think I'm passing on that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh man, I listened to way too much metalcore here. The next one, God, it's so bad. We're gonna get through this one, and I think the rest I found online. Ice Knife Kills. Oh, I can't wait for someone who knows this one to be into this. Ice Knife Kills is a joke on Ice 9 Kills, which is they came up with an album called The Silver Scream, where they make a bunch of metalcore songs based off of horror movies. They got huge off of these. Like they're literally like they own Halloween in the metal scene is pretty much what it is.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm seeing we're passing on this one.
I think I'm gonna
I
pass
can
just 'cause-
respect that. That eats though.
Yeah, it is cool. So I'll pass on principle. Or I'm sorry, I'll smash. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No, that was it. That's the moment. This is the moment, folks. This is the moment that actually
smash
matters.
on principle.
All right,
Smash on principle.
I'll pass on principle. Who have I?
Or, but I'm smash leaning.
All right, smash
leaning.
leaning.
Smash leaning.
Okay.
I do think
I don't know
Ice
enough.
Knife Kills. Ice Knife Kills was a great name. I'm really proud of that one, which means no one cares about it until I give a plethora of fucking backstory and context. Here we go. Aerosmith.
Please get the fuck out.
There it is. All right, the next, what are we saying? They're coming to the fucking. They're trying to get into the birdhouse. The birdhouse is listening. We are trying to see who the fans want.
That's a pass for me.
I think it's a pass.
It's a pass. Okay, here we go. Daft Monk.
Smash.
That's smash.
Okay, there we go.
Smash.
I told you
Smash.
we're getting into the one. Dampier Weekend.
Oh, smash.
Yeah.
Okay.
Smash.
This one. Armor class, difficulty class.
Oh,
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
oh.
smash.
Okay.
Smash.
It took me a second. Smash.
Smash. Amazing. Oh no, I literally I clapped so hard I fucking unplugged my headphones. Amazing. So armor class difficulty class, right? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's a classic Smash. Okay. This one, solo act. Solo act, seeing how it's going. Astral Levine.
Smash, baby.
Ooh, I will smash that. Yeah.
Astral Levine until she dies and is replaced.
Oh, conspiracy theory.
She's a changeling?
Here we go.
Whoa, maybe.
Here we go. Mighty Mighty Frost Gnomes.
Smash.
Yeah.
Smash.
Yeah. They're a big band.
Yeah.
There's a lot of gnomes on there.
Well, they can fill a lot of space.
They can fill a lot of space. Incredible. Okay, did you say
I'll smash.
Are you guys into ska?
I don't know a lot of ska. I more went like right into emo and screamo.
Okay.
I kind of missed the ska, but I am familiar with the Mighty Mighty Boss stuff.
The ska punk scene is gonna love Mighty Mighty Frost Gnomes. Big fan of Mighty Mighty Frost Gnomes on there. Honestly, a lot of them think they're cool. So the next one is Arcane Fire.
Smash.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
All right. A couple Arcane Fire fans in here. Okay. Grateful Undead.
Pass.
It's a pass.
That's a pass.
Pass.
Okay. I've got
Fuck
two
jam
left.
bands.
I've got two left. Absolutely agree. They like. I get
just play the song, not notes around the song. Play the song.
No, here's the thing though. They only have 3 fingers. So there's only so much they can
God.
do. There's
no.
only so much.
They're even more disappointing.
They're really bad. Yeah, they're really bad. They also don't have ears. So there's that.
Oh my God.
All right, 2 bands
Pass
left.
so hard.
No.
2 bands left. I'm actually upset because I'm just going down the line and I didn't even save the best for last. I would have saved Astral Levine for the last one. But the last 2 are OK Golem.
Oh, okay. Smash.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. They got big. They were in Scrollbend and they got big because they were posting some minor illusions out and it just went viral. It went viral.
Good for them.
Yeah, really. And then the last one is the Violet Underdark. Or excuse me, the Velvet Underdark. The Velvet Underdark.
I don't know. You fucked it up the first time. I'm passing.
Yeah, that's fine. Pass that. Totally pass. That's supposed to be the Velvet Underground, but I don't know who the fucking the Velvet Underground is. I know of them, and I refuse to listen to them.
When is Frightened at the Disco coming?
Yeah.
Let me tell you how many times I workshopped a way to incorporate them. What I've got so far was Panic at the Tavern.
Yeah, I was going to say Tavern.
Panic at the Tavern seemed okay, but it didn't sit well with me. I actually found other options that turned out to like somebody was suggesting it about just a tabletop role-playing game, and there was a whole forum. It wasn't even D&D game inspired. It was just TTRPG inspired. And what was so crazy was this person that was suggesting ones, they were like, yeah, just off the top of my head, blah, 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 blah. I was like, oh, fuck, these sound like bands that I would listen to, like in real life. And one of them that I was like, fuck, this is really good was Fireball the Tavern. I'm like,
That's good.
I would be front row for Fireball the Tavern.
Yeah.
Like,
That's a good one.
God, what a fucking band name. So anyways, we have these Eventide bands that are trying to, make a name for themselves in the Gleaming Realm, coming to you soon at the Birdhouse. The Birdhouse. That really is it in terms of our sponsors. We only had one sponsor this week. We do want to, that's it. Unless, of course, we want to do just a couple deals. Let me see. Anyone going to Sickle Farm? Sickle Farm is being nice, and they're going to give. No, actually, hold on. Sorry, I am getting a report. Sten Sickle says I can go fuck myself.
A direct quote.
Wow.
Sounds like him.
Here we go. No, because this is Stensicle's flaw. Treats his farm as his personal fiefdom and refuses to accept the law of the king if he disagrees with it. And he disagrees with giving any discounts. I am so sorry.
Oh, wow.
I am getting
pass. Hard pass.
He is.
Or Smash to get those discounts.
Or Smash to get those discounts.
Damn, you were playing the long game.
Yeah, I am.
You're pretty smart.
You know what?
Thank you.
Go Birds. It seems like our only sponsor here is, of course, the Birdhouse. If you're interested in seeing any of these bands, if they make the cut, again, it seems like some of them we're not interested in seeing. But if you are interested in seeing, I feel like Astral Levine is going to make
Astral Levine's going to headline whatever music festival they're going to put on.
Yeah.
And she's going to slay.
She's going to slay. The Festival of the Stars. That's what it is. Astral Levine.
Yeah.
Headlining. You can get tickets, of course, through the Ticketmaster, Live Nation. Reach out to Live Nation for all of your ticket needs. All right, that is exactly who is selling tickets for the Birdhouse. All right, am I missing any other sponsors? I'm giving you an opportunity here to tell me who you're trying to get a discount from.
I don't remember who we did last time. I don't want to double up.
I believe we did Clinfair.
We did Clinfair?
One.
Mm-hmm.
Did we do Dima?
I was about to ask.
I don't think you did Dima.
We didn't do Dima?
We could do Dima.
You want to do Dima this time?
Dima.
Sponsor Dima.
Even if we did do Dima, hey Dima, back at it. You know what? Dima's Adventuring Emporium is the other sponsor on this show. And this episode, thank you to Dima's Adventuring Emporium. Dima's Adventuring Emporium is offering 10% off any common or uncommon or rare item.
Whoa.
Okay.
10% off any
Thanks,
common
Dima.
or rare.
Thank you, Daddy
item.
Dima.
That's
Thanks,
right.
King.
He's about it. Yeah, no. He's having a good time. He's seen a lot. I mean, you guys are paying the bills for this guy right now. A significant amount of folks who are trying to get there. Also, just as a shout out, Hall of Records. Hall of Records 100% sponsored this, as they do all lore dives. All lore dives on Marjionn Monthly are sponsored by the Hall of Records. Come to the Hall of Records for all of your lore interests.
We love historians.
Love historians. Yo, shout out to
Shout out to the archivists.
Truly. Okay. That's it. Thank you again to all of our sponsors every week and every month and all the time. Every session. We look forward to it. And yeah, we can't do this without them.
But I think I was rewatching the Calamity Exandria wrap up, like
It's best game.
the DM roundtable one.
Oh, okay.
And
I love that specifically because like Matt, it's so good to see Matt being like, okay, so how do you come up with characters, blah, blah, blah. And then Brennan's like, stop, we're just gonna have a conversation,
Yes.
like knock it off. And then it gets good.
Yeah.
But you can see how nervous he is
Yeah.
when he starts talking because he's like, I want to do this right. I'm not a host.
yeah, and they all have like little questions that they're reading off of, and
he was like, no, this is the wrong way to do this. Knock it off. Let's just talk.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt.
No,
but,
no,
like,
no,
that is-
you're so good.
It
You're so
gets
good.
so good in that
I
moment.
love it's so good.
Yeah.
But Brennan goes on a whole thing about like exactly what you're saying. Like as the character, I want full immersion in the world, and I don't want to think about like anything outside of the problem that I need to solve that is right in front of me right now. As like the player brain, I am very aware that I want to tell a story. And so it's then navigating between those and then I think they can bleed in together, and that's where metagaming comes into it, whether it's conscious or not. But he is much more eloquent than I am, but he goes on he just like explains it perfectly.
Yeah.
Of kind of that split
I think
mentality.
The biggest problem with that though, right, is that they are putting on a fucking show. And the reason why like I finally said yes to this, like recording this stuff, is that not everyone gets to play every game. And so like this is a way that we can like talk about what happened in the sessions and things like that. Like again, this session is to talk about like what is the world, what is a bigger thing, so that like when somebody says, what do you mean these 7 C's? We can just go like, just listen to that. Like listen to that.
Timestamp.
Yeah. And you can know more about the 7 C's if you're interested in that. We don't have to spend 6 episodes of 6 sessions where I know that we're going to play for 5 fucking hours and we have so many of the players, like 5 or 6 players who are going to be like, I don't want to know anything about this session. I'm going to actively go against what I know as a player because my character doesn't know that. And I'm like, that's fine, but that means that we're going to have to do this again. And again.
Right.
Yeah.
And if you are just as a person who are like, I just want to fucking know about the 7 C's. I don't care. Like my character could not care less. But I fucking care.
Yeah.
That's why we're doing this episode.
Right. Because you've created an incredible world that is broad and expansive and has phenomenal depth. Yes, but there is one mind that it originates out of.
Again, disagree. Strongly disagree with that.
So, okay, well, I didn't.
Well, you drew the map. So.
Yeah, you drew the fucking map. Okay. All right.
I drew a map.
You drew the map.
You guys.
So all of this is your fault.
Go birds.
Responsibility.
Go birds. There it is.
But I hear what you're saying, and like I agree. Like I want lore, but I also I'm not thrilled by just a session of lore. It's just like, okay, like if I just wanted a class, like I'd take a class.
Listen to a podcast.
Sure. Exactly.
If you
and
wanted
that's
to
what
fucking
this is
get
for.
lore, listen
right?
to a podcast.
So that I'm hoping that this allows an opportunity for you to be like, I'm going to drop something in here, and then we go, oh, we're going to talk about that later.
Write that down.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Great.
Like
Awesome.
March or monthly, like we'll expand on that so that we can still have an opportunity for you to provide that information, but maybe it doesn't have to be locked behind a dice roll, right?
Great.
Because some things like you do, right? If you want the person to succeed or someone shouldn't ever succeed at this, we shouldn't ever leave it up to the dice. Right, because the dice tell the best story, and they're gonna fuck you every time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right,
Yeah.
and so we need to just like be like, okay, you know what? No, you can't do that. And it's the Dungeon Master's job to make it cool why you can't do that or why you can do that. But that like we do need to be like, okay, and we're moving on from that now. Like we've expanded. We're gonna drop a seed, and then we'll talk about it in a month.
Yeah.
Okay, so. Do you want me to drop Redruth lore?
Always.
Yeah, let's go. I mean,
always.
it's not tied to Aurelian at all, so I don't care.
This is the
Cat. This is for you, girl.
Okay, so Redruth did in fact fight on the 7 Seas for the 9 Hells.
Of course he did.
Eventually faced Grozist. And
Yeah.
the islands at the bottom of the map are called the Eye of Grozist. Because through the Eye of Grozist, you can look into the world of Anakainosis. So here's the deepest of the lore. This is like...
Because you can't see me, my jaw's on the floor right now.
I didn't know. Your mouth is open so wide. I could get 5 apples in there.
This is the
Big
biggest...
ones.
Big one, like gala apples,
Yeah.
Honeycrisp apples from the market too. No pesticides.
This is the biggest, like, I have absolutely written this backstory. Okay, let me fully read, like, total Redruth lore drop here.
Oh, hell yes.
We're just doing...
While you pull that up, may I have another seltzer, please?
Absolutely. Seltzers for Redruth.
Thank you.
All right, so...
Pour one out for...
This is...
If it wasn't a rugged floor, I'd do it.
What? No. Pour it in your mouth. How about that?
Go birds.
There you go. Ooh.
Slurping for Red Roof.
It's a big old slurp for Red Roof. Okay, so when I was first creating NPCs for the world, I knew I had to create, I basically, in Strongholds and Followers, they are like, here are all the artisans that you could have that would benefit a stronghold. And you can upgrade your artisans to increase your stronghold's abilities. Like, that's what it is. So I was like, awesome. The world is built on the MCDM, Strongholds and Followers, like guidelines. And so your followers are artisans. I then went through and said, I want to have at least 2 artisans or I want to have at least 2 NPCs per artisan that is in the book. And so there's a lot of them. And so the captains, the first one I created was a classic idea of the, mythological, like Arthurian knight, right? So Sir Arthur Edith. So how I create NPCs when I'm like giving the descriptions and whatnot, it literally is the artisan title, so captain, then the name, in parentheses, their like actual position, and then in brackets, their alignment, and then their appearance, their voice, so I know how to speak, RP adjectives, a fun fact, a quirk, interaction traits, ideals, bonds, and flaws. And that is what I did. So Sir Arthur Edith is appearance is a human, he, him pronouns. He's in his 40s. He's handsome and strong. He has a great fucking beard. He has bright, intelligent eyes, a dashing smile. He is the quintessential fighter and hero. His voice is strong lead male, deeper, no accent. RP adjectives is stereotypical knight, leader. A fun fact is he genuinely loves what he does, has experience under 3 lords and in 5 wars. He wields Purcell, the Dawn Hope, which is a great sword. And his quirk is he hates goblins after they killed his wife. His interaction traits are confident and poised. His ideals are honor and nation. His bonds are loyal to the Glimmer King, protective of his son. And his flaw is he wants more than anything to have his wife Beatrice returned to him. That's a man. That's a man.
Capital M man.
And of course, she's named Beatrice for a reason, so his assistant had to be the complete opposite, right? And so his assistant is Sir Tom Redruth, captain's assistant, chaotic neutral. His appearance is a tiefling, preferred pronouns he, him. He's in his 30s. He's tall. He's handsome. He has red skin, large curled horns. He's a pirate. Literally, it says large curled horns, comma, pirate, comma, tricorn hat with a number of large feathers, eye patch with an invisible rune, which he gave. He literally gave that to Phelan. Like Phelan has the eye patch now.
Ooh.
Like that was the whole thing. And so
Does Phelan know that?
That happened like a year ago at this point.
Phelan, check your inventory.
Eye patch with an invisible rune, tattoos down his neck, back, chest, thin and muscular, gold tooth, left canine. He's also part of the Fist of Iron, so he wears an iron band and a gold band on his right little finger. He has an iron band on his right ring little, and the chain connects. He's an iron band and 2 rubies on his right thumb. And so that means that he's a pirate, torturer, and an assassin. Like, those are the 3 things that he
Get you a man who does it all.
Yeah. Voice.
He sounds fun.
What a resume.
Literally, I described half of that. And like the party lost their shit. And I was like, oh, fuck.
Well, as soon as you said he was a pirate and then you started doing his voice.
Because the voice.
We all sat up.
Yeah, the voice literally says Captain Barbossa. And I was like, got it. So a lot of these things I know I'm not going to do a 1-to-1 because I can't do a 1-to-1, but I can get close or I get close enough. And the cool thing is when you miss, you hit a new target, right? Mm-hmm. So it's not Barbossa, it's Redruth. Except I did Barbossa and like 3 people were like, is that Barbossa? I was like, damn, I nailed that one. That felt good. But the RP adjectives are pirate, swashbuckler, very charming and rambunctious. Fun fact, he sailed his ship out of the 9 hells and arrived in the Eye of Krasus, where he had many adventures and situations. He has an emerald opal topaz scale of the crown, and he wields ill will, which is a scimitar. His quirk is he talks shit to any sailors he sees. Interaction traits are arrogant and sly. Ideals are independence and redemption. His bonds is he is loyal to Sir Arthur Edith. And his flaw is he was sent to the mundane world to spy on mortals and convert souls to the blood war. He knows why the demon portals are opening up and won't stop them as he wants the devils to lose. And I wrote that before any of you were players in this fucking world.
I knew it.
Oh!
I knew it. I knew there was something shifty.
That genuinely was written before.
Phelan, get up! Phelan, get up! Get up! He's gonna take your soul.
So that was written, and then the whole Phelan Redruth arc happened, right? So new lore was dropped.
Wow.
Shit.
Wow. What an excellent moment for what the player knows and what the character doesn't, and how to play this story of the tempting of Phelan's soul.
I mean,
She wouldn't do it.
No.
She wouldn't do it,
wouldn't
but
do it.
oh my God.
But also, what a great cat and mouse story.
She wouldn't do
That's
it.
what a great cat.
Oh!
She wouldn't do it.
She wouldn't do it, but she would eat it up.
So you ready? Are you ready for the full drop?
All right.
Oh God,
All right.
there's more. We've gone.
I
We've gone
have-
to dormant. Now we're awakened.
I want to show
Take
you.
us to exalted.
Exalt me, daddy.
So here's the deal, folks. My computer screen is this big, right? Mm-hmm. My notes app is this big. Mm-hmm. I have now scrolled to where the top line is backstory, and the entire backstory is this big for him.
Incredible.
So what people haven't seen is it is the entirety of the screen. It is Redruth is the only one I have written this much backstory for, because there's no need for anybody else. You guys keep going back to Redruth, so I had to write more about him. So Redruth, this is absolutely this is okay. I said I didn't I wanted to tell lore or whatever. This is absolutely full stop spoiler alert for every single person who does not want to know more about Redruth.
yes. Stop now. Timestamp. I don't know. In 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Skip.
Genuinely. So here we are, folks. We are at the end of another session here of Marjionn Monthly, another edition of Marjionn Monthly. Really appreciate it. Thank you for listening. Izzy, as the only person who's listening to this episode. Yay! Thank you. If you are listening and your name is not Izzy, honestly, thanks for being here. Didn't expect it. Did not expect it. Huge help. So again, thank you to Jay for being here.
So good to be here.
Thank you, Alex, for being here. Okay. We are, so Alex, Jay, Liam. Of course, we want to thank our incredible staff here. We want to thank Roxanne. We want to thank Aurelian. We want to thank Phelan, who we mentioned. Yep, Phelan Aldathariel, Princess of the Court of the Moon. We want to thank, as always, Sir Valdaniel.
Always.
Yep, of the Gleaming Realm. Huge there. Of course, Sir Vanmar
Yeah.
von Gosling.
Come on, King.
It was definitely, I feel like we could not have, no, you did. You 100% wrote it down.
I wrote it
him
down. We talked about it.
Yeah, I mean, and we can't, who else did we mention in terms of this?
That sexy, sexy Redruth.
Oh, of
The
course.
pirate himself.
I want to thank the one, the only, Sir Tom Redruth. Sir Arthur Edith.
Arthur Edith.
Gotta thank him for being here. Do we miss any other West Marchers? I I'm just going to go through them because I feel like, I just want to thank all of them.
Sound off.
Of all the people who have played recently, we'll say that. Of all, because fuck you who hasn't played recently.
Whoa,
No, that's not true.
they're definitely listening.
No, they definitely are listening.
They're definitely in the room.
I do want to.
Oh,
I'm gonna thank everyone who has been here, which is, we talked about this. I'm going down the line. Thank you, Rapid, for just constantly making my heart warm and having a fucking hilt stuck in your chest. Thank you, Charlemagne, for being the only person who, at the beginning of this, was genuinely interested in getting lore from the lore, the Hall of Records. I'm not gonna explain why after this. Thank you, Pennyworth Greenbrier. Thank you, Flavin Townsend, Udalat Rogstadson. Thank you. Oh, Jerry Tinman, who hasn't even made an appearance yet. Shout out. Taxi Noman. Shout out to Taxi Noman. Big fan.
Shout out, Taxi.
Shout out. We did talk about Barty, but Barty is the next one on this. Shout out to Bartholomew Dennington and the Dennington Trading Company. Shout out Tevin Trask. Goes without saying.
may he forever be cursed.
Forever.
Aww.
Shout out Magnus Bjornsson. And last one, honestly, a big one we didn't even talk about. Huge, brand new, first time playing was this month. Shout out to Edith Gossipay.
Hey,
Shout
welcome.
out to Edith Gossipay. And again, even Elizabeth, if you're listening to this and you never play in this world again, you've already done enough to warm my heart forever. So thank you very much for being part of this. And here's to the next session. So that's all of the West Marchers, so I don't forget anybody. Mm-hmm. Shout out to Haley Galesong. Just cause. Haley. What a lass. Shout out to
The moon.
The moon. Shout out to the moon.
Shout out the moon.
And the sun.
And the sun.
But mostly the moon.
Yeah.
The moon's out there. Shout out to my girl, the May Queen, who's there and doing stuff.
Shout out to Maravana.
Shout out to Maravana. All the old gods, all the new gods, all the giants of old, Vir, Ve, Vili, like those folks.
Shout out to all the pirate lords.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God, yeah. Ethashoka, of course. Shout out to Ethashoka, one of the pirate lords. Everyone knows Ethashoka. Shout out to, I will say shout out to the Impetus Pirate Craven, who's like part of that.
Yeah.
Shout out to Mark, who is like the in-game representative of the pirate or the devils. Like that dude's doing it. Is there anyone else I'm missing that we talked about? I'm sure there is, but
we had to have gotten most of them.
Yeah, I feel
we got most of them.
Yeah.
All right, so that's it. So that means that we're going to end with the rest of the Marcher Monthly staff here. So, of course, shout out to all of the folks who work here at Marcher Monthly. Again, our chief sports analyst, Drome Disputant, our senior diplomatic analyst, Dust Daly, our intern and West Marcher's chief correspondent, Bowen Tibbard, our senior field reporter, Tinnerynt Fjord, our senior frontline reporter, Sir Lee Nuuz, our chief foreign correspondent, Marjionn Wesslyy, our senior legal analyst, Don Jinno, Esquire of Witt and Cunning, and our senior religious affairs correspondent, Himan Sohlm. And of course, always, I'm going to hand it over to our head anchor. Signing off, this is Lanky Kahn Noggin, reminding you as always to go forth and conquer.